right. Sorry. Yes! 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 Oh my God! Yes! What a kickoff! Ferrari 1-2! Mamma mia! Bravo! Bravo! In the paddock F1, Greedy and the Cheese, we are in the kingdom of Bahrain, 11 miles from the capital city of Manama. And while you're there, maybe you want to make a stop at AMY Islands. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that totally incorrect, but it's man-made islands with a floating city. A floating city, Michael. How about that, Chuck?
How about that?
And maybe you want to make a stop at the Tree of Life. It's over 400 years old. That's one old stinking tree, Mike. And then, you might want to stop for a pint at JJ's Irish Restaurant in Manama. That's right. Get a little taste of the island of Green while you're down there in Bahrain. Yes, very
the Irish pub.
But this is not no travel show. This is an F1 show. And we are at the Bahrain International Circuit. 3.36 miles, 3 DRS zones. You give it the full beans for 74% of your lap. And oh, yes, baby. Yes. We'll give it to you again. Let's go. Ferrari kicks it off with a 1-2. Neither Red Bull finishes the race because of engine problems. Lewis shockingly gets on the podium, and there's a Haas in the top 5. Are you serious? Is this a dream? Can somebody pinch me to make sure it's real? We're caffeinated. We're medicated. Greenie, good evening, sir.
That was a little extra for you. 'Twas the night before Bahrain, and all through the desert. Not an engine was humming, not a timing was measured. The tires were wrapped in the paddock with care, in hopes that the circus would soon be there. Yuki was nestled all snug in his bed, and dreams of a repeat danced in Max's head. Guenther and Toto, with their jammies and caps, the roar of the engines, wake from their long winter naps. When out of the track, there emerged such a clatter, the fans in red stood up to see what's the matter. Away down the back straight, it flew like a flash, tore through turn 1, turning track just to ash. On Charles, on Carlos, past the Merc and the Bulls, and the Mercedes engine, all looking like fools. As the sand kicked up and the red cars did fly, and as they crossed the finish line, hands to the sky, and Gunther's face smiled like a big bowl of jelly. Bottas he gloated like Arthur Fonzarelli. The ponies they sit on the top of the heap. Until next race we go, Toto and Horner won't sleep. And Charles Leclerc exclaimed as he drove off out of sight, Ferrari's on top, so y'all have a good night.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
You know.
Bravo.
Little visit from St. Nick. Irish pub, though. I like that. I like the Irish pub. All over the world.
All over the world, baby. Come get a pint.
An island of 5 million people, and they got pubs all over the world.
There's an Irish pub. We're everywhere. Don't you forget it.
Absolutely.
Don't you forget it.
Greenie of the Cheese in the paddock F1. We are back after the first race of the 2022 season. How exciting was it to see those ponies crossing the finish line 1-2 in dramatic fashion, in wild fashion. The Red Bulls definitely helped out a little bit for that 1-2 finish. But Cheese, as you are saying, you are smiling. I sent my my wife out to the butcher to go pick up some steaks. Had a nice steak and potato dinner before the broadcast here. After that big time Haas number 5, I would even have taken a 7 if the Red Bulls didn't conk out there at the end. But a 5th place, unbelievable. For you, it's not about Haas. It's not about Mercedes. Today, it's about Ferrari.
Yes, indeed. You had your steak for dinner. I had myself some 5 cheese tortellini. Because 3 cheese just wasn't enough today, boys and girls. Needed
What
to
with the
bump that
5?
5 cheese. Had to get up to 5 cheese tortellini.
Not 2 cheese.
No, not 2, not 3, not 4. No. 5 cheese. 5 cheese tortellini.
I'm done.
And also smothered that in some fantastic Alfredo sauce as well. So you might as well call it some 6 cheese tortellini tonight.
It's a celebration.
Celebration. It's been a while, but Ferrari looked amazing. Absolutely amazing. Bravo. Definitely the team to beat now. That's for darn sure. Red Bulls look like they got a little reliability issue with the Red Bull power plant, as it's now called, since it's no longer Honda. 3 cars that use that engine out of 4 had engine problems. Don't forget Pierre Gasly and the AlphaTauri. They also use the same engine, and that bad boy caught fire. But a 1-2 finish for Ferrari to kick it off. For us fans of Ferrari, La Tifosi, it's been well worth the wait to see that happen. Well worth the wait. Well worth the struggles. Tastes a little bit sweeter when you go through some struggles. A little bit sweeter taste. Where else can we go? There's a lot of places we could go. Not to just completely continue to gloat about Ferrari, which I could probably do for the entire program.
Hey, listen.
Throw in there.
The opening segment and the big story. This is all yours. We're going to have winners and losers. We're going to have all kinds of stuff to talk about, all the other stuff that happened. But this is Ferrari's moment. This is all the work. This is all the steps backwards. This time last year, we were just coming off of a 2020 season that Ferrari just looked miserable, and even worse than a 2019 season, which was a down season. So, 2019 was a bad season. 2020 was worse. 2021 was a step up for sure. And now in 2022, we have a team that looks competitive. And listen,
competitive in every aspect. I mean, 2.5 second pit stops compared to the 3 second stuff that Red Bull was putting up, which is usually the reverse of that.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
Ferrari were on their game in the pit stop.
Absolutely.
In the pit stops. Red Bull made them, came in for the stop. Ferrari was right on top of it right away. Charles battling with Max, saying, no, we're not going to give it up here. Planning to hit the brakes a little bit earlier going into turn 1 to come out maybe behind Max, but he get the DRS heading into 4. Just absolutely smart racing all around. Carlos Sainz struggled for most of the weekend to get the car underneath him. For him to come up and finish second, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 1-2 finish, that is better than he could have expected to be quite honest. Look absolutely phenomenal. No reliability issues. I mean, the Red Bulls were having issues with brakes overheating and things like that. That's why Max couldn't really challenge Charles for a lot of the race, because the brakes were having issues with overheating. No issues with the Ferrari whatsoever in the entire race. So Ferrari looks better, the best reliability so far. Might be the best power plant. That's what it looks like too, with the Red Bulls having all kinds of engine problems, which I hear it might be a fuel pump issue or something like that, but that's not something that Red Bull wanted to have happen. Neither car finishes. That's a big point jump there for Ferrari against Red Bull, because Red Bull got a big fat can of nope. Big fat can of nope. Max screaming like a little sissy boy, little hothead. Which that's kind of why a lot of people don't like Max Verstappen, because he comes off as a little bit of a baby, a little bit of a crybaby when things aren't going his way. And he was on the radio snapping at his team even. I mean, your team's not going to like that either when you keep snapping at him. So Red Bull had a little chink. Thought they were just going to, get title number 2 in a row. But oh, no. Here comes a team from Maranello. Ring those bells. Ring those bells in Maranello.
Yeah, there's not much more I could say. Besides Leclerc, phenomenal. Those laps 16 to 17, 18, that was some phenomenal racing. And Max could have taken that and slowed Leclerc down and stayed in front of him for a while, but Charles Leclerc took that right back on lap 17, took that right back, and that was some serious racing. That was epic, as they said on the broadcast at the time, and I tend to agree. That was an epic battle, and hope we see a lot more of that. But Leclerc pulled away. Max had no chance, regardless. I don't think he would have caught up, regardless. Those last couple laps, he obviously had no chance because of that DNF, and then Checo right behind him as well. Very disappointing for Red Bull. Elation from Ferrari, but we have so much more to talk about because we got winners and losers. Someone's going to slap themselves in the face. This slap is going to be heard across the desert because this is going to be a big slap. Plus, we got Greeny Box. Let's see if I can, at least at some point in my life, take a lead. It's always the first race is a good shot to take a lead. We'll see if I can actually maintain any kind of lead tonight, or will Cheese just come out swinging and go wire to wire once again. And of course, we have Life in the Fast Lane. First time in a few months we've had that. We're going to give Cheese 10 questions, 3 minutes. All that and more. Greeny the Cheese in the Paddock F1. Back after this. Yes. Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1. It is a Sunday night race night, our first race of 2022. Get pumped up, but it is time that we take a lap around the track. One time, 3 sectors. I'm going to put my helmet on, make sure it fits, make sure to get my neck braced for all the porpoising that I'm about to go through here. Break my neck. Greeny the Cheese. And of course, besides telling your friends and your family and everyone you know to check out In the Paddock F1 with Greeny the Cheese, of course, visit us on Twitter, In the Paddock USA, and inthepaddockusa@gmail.com. Email us your questions. Maybe we'll read them on the show. Cheesehead, you ready to embarrass me? Or are you ready to be up to embarrass yourself?
But of course, sir. But of course.
All
right. I got one cupcake for you.
Stop with the cupcakes.
I got one cupcake for you.
All right.
And then 2, I'm not so confident for you on.
All right.
But here we go. Now, as always, as it's been tradition for a lot of this segment, the Quizmasters Cockpit, Sector 1 question applies to my opening. So we will see if you were paying attention, which you pretty much never do, or if you paid attention at all during the broadcast as well. This was mentioned, I think, a couple times during the beginning of a couple of sessions. So question 1 for Sector 1. How many miles is the Bahrain International Circuit from the capital city of Manama?
Oh, is definitely mentioned. How many miles? Is this the cupcake?
This is the cupcake. Well, I give it to you. It was given to you in the open.
I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I heard it. I know. I heard it. 12 miles. Is it 12?
That is incorrect. It is 11. But you're close on
Come
that. That's a close
on.
guess. It's a close guess, but it's still incorrect.
It's not in the hole. It's not in
It's
the
not
hole.
in the hole. So that is first sector is a red sector.
Yeah.
We're
was
off
something
to a
like that.
gleaming start this year in the Quizmasters cockpit, Michael.
I don't remember how many. I got to write this
All right.
stuff down. All right. I'm
You
excited
gotta
for the
pay-
race. I'm
You
not
gotta
excited
pay
for the race. I'm not paying
Well,
attention.
You got to pay attention.
I'm watching
you
the
gotta pay
cars go
attention.
around. I'm watching the cars.
Not when you're listening to my opening. When you're staring
I'm
at me.
not listening to your. I'm not listening to your opening either. Keep going.
You suck. That's what I gotta say.
Keep going.
Question 2, Sector 2. The Bahrain GP has been on the F1 calendar since what year?
Oh, 2004. I know that one.
That is
I knew that
correct,
one.
sir.
That was like. I knew that
That is
one.
correct.
I knew that one.
That is correct, sir. I'm impressed. I'm impressed you knew that one, to be honest. That was not the cupcake.
Yes, that was the Schumacher's last championship was the first year of that's how I remember that.
Oh, very nice, sir. All right.
I got it.
So that is the green sector. For the final sector, which constructor has the most wins at the Bahrain Grand Prix? And how many?
Which constructor has the most?
Don't you be Googling nothing on your phone.
Googling anything on my phone. I'm not good Google anything anyway. It's gonna take 5 minutes to figure it out. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Mercedes.
That is incorrect. Ferrari with 7.
That was my next guess.
So that is another red sector. So that
Sebastian Vettel. Vettel won him
1
with...
out of 3.
All right.
Felipe Massa actually won 2 races at Bahrain in a Ferrari.
Did he?
Yes, he did. How about that?
How about them apples?
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. But yet again, you fail. The Quizmasters cockpit yet again. One of these days, hopefully, you'll get on the winning side here. So that is 0 for 1 to start the season, Michael. 0 for 1.
Ouch. Well, we got 22 more races to go, so very, very exciting.
That is a loser, so that'll take us right into winners and losers. And where do you want to start this week? I think we're going to start off with the winners, because I really don't have that many losers this week. To be straight honest.
I'm cool with that.
So I got a couple. I got a whole pile. I'm going to leave one absolutely for you to gloat on. I'm going to leave that one for you.
Go for it.
But I'm going to give you 1, 2. I'm going to give you 4. One of them you're not going to expect, I don't think.
Okay.
Formula One's a winner today. And I'm going to tell you why. With the new regulations and the theory behind the new regulations to provide us more entertaining racing, guys could follow closer, I think that was an absolute success. I mean, there was battles throughout the field. Cars were right behind each other. Didn't have to drop back. They were battling through whole stints, especially in the mid to back of the pack. So Formula One was definitely a winner with the new regulations. Definitely came out to show that the theory and everything behind it, it works. Second winner, Mercedes. Thank you to Red Bull, but they get a 3-4. 3-4 finish between Lewis and Russell. Lewis on the podium. It sounded like he won the race. How excited he was post-race in the cockpit. But Mercedes getting a 3-4 finish, that is huge for Mercedes, especially in a car that's definitely probably a 5-6, maybe even a 6-7 car right now. Alfa Romeo. Definitely a big winner today. Bottas 6th. And Zhao in his debut with a 10th place finish. Fantastic. Fantastic drive. Fantastic drive. And I'm going to give it up for Yuki Tsunoda. You trashed the man yesterday at the beginning of the show, but the man did put up, and he finished 8th. The only car with a Red Bull power plant to finish the race was Yuki Tsunoda, and he got some points for AlphaTauri. Those are my winners. I could throw a couple more in there, but I'm going to give it off to you, sir, so you have a couple to squeeze out. One especially that I know you definitely want to gloat on.
Well, before I get to Haas, and I mean, even Schumacher finishing 11th, definitely got to give it up to him. But Kevin Magnussen, as I regaled last week with a poem to Kevin, once again, I regale to the entire Haas team for sticking with it. And Guenther Steiner's not going to have to drop as many F-bombs because hopefully he'll be a little bit happier because it's been a really rough 2 years.
He dropped them on the radio today after that race. If you didn't hear what he said to Kevin, I think if I'm not mistaken, the man said that's a blanking Viking return or something like that. Guenther was fired up today.
Guenther was fired up today. Guenther was fired up, and deservedly so. It's been a long couple of years since 2019, and since the Haas team has even been remotely competitive, and he comes out here with a 5th and an 11th. I would have even taken the 7th and 11th if the Red Bulls didn't conk out there. And gotta give it up to Esteban Ocon. Don't forget Esteban. He finished in the top 10, gets some points while starting in 11th, picks up 4 places. Got to give it up to him.
Well, you got to give it to all of Alpine. To be honest, Alonso finished 9th. Both cars in the points.
Alonso finished 9th. He had some struggles for sure. He had some
both
struggles
cars for sure. Both cars in the points.
Both cars definitely finished in the points, 7th and 9th. But definitely the Haas, a lot of winners today. And there's one glaring, actually a couple glaring losers, but I'll let you get to that as well. So go ahead, Shees, take it away for the not-so winners.
Well, you got to say Pierre Gasly, not a winner today. Car caught fire. That's probably definitely going to be a new engine, a new power plant. So check that one off the board right off to the first race. So that's definitely a big disadvantage. I think, what is it? I think the rule change is still 3 engines. I think you're allowed for the whole season. That's correct. They did not change that rule. So, but yeah, it's going to be a disadvantage then. So he's going to have 2 more to go for 22 more races. So good luck with that. So there's definitely going to be a lot of grid penalties coming for him later in the season. And the Red Bulls. Both cars conk out. Almost, back-to-back laps even. So boom, boom. Definitely a reliability concern, not be able to get to the full race. No points, definitely puts you behind the back foot to other teams to start the season. And you're definitely not the favorite. Like everybody thought. And you probably thought yourselves. Ferrari has their game face on. So Red Bull definitely one of the bigger losers, but not the biggest loser. Do you have any?
How many losers? I mean, Aston Martin was terrible today. They were terrible all weekend. Yeah. And
you can't really say that much. You can't really say that much about Hülkenberg. I mean, the guy just got in the car on Friday.
Oh yeah, and Lando Norris definitely. He did finish 12th, so it wasn't a complete loss. But they definitely took advantage of a late safety car and so
it didn't finish 12th.
Where did he finish?
15th. 12th. What planet are you on? Fantasyland?
Where did Lance Stroll finish today?
Lance Stroll finished 12th. You said Lando Norris.
I'm sorry, I meant Lance Stroll. I apologize. Lance Stroll finished 12th. I said Aston Martin and Lance Stroll.
Well, then you said you
brought
up Lando Norris.
I apologize if I did say. I will roll back the tape to see what I did say. But I'm sorry, Lance Stroll, who started 19th, finished 12th. So he did gain 7 spots today. But not a great weekend overall for Aston Martin. Obviously, not having Vettel there and having Hülkenberg in there was tough. But a lot to celebrate today. A lot to celebrate outside of those Red Bull engines. A lot to celebrate.
You didn't want one of those today.
No, definitely didn't want one of those today. So that brings us to...
You wanted that Ferrari motor today. That's the motor you wanted.
Absolutely. But that, of course, brings us to one more glaring loser that is saved for a special place on this show. A place...
I need to slap my goddamn tail for that.
That's right.
That's right.
Award.
That's right. All right. Let's get out that baby powder. And you know what? Since we're in the desert, throw a little sand in there too. Make it sting a little extra.
Make it sting. It stings in the desert. That baby powder stings in the desert.
That's just yeah, I know. Throw a little sand in there extra. Let's get a little extra sting in there. Because you deserve it. After that gosh darn awful performance. And that's McLaren. Get out and slap yourselves. 14th, 15th. You're lucky to even get that, to be honest, because that was bloody awful. Awful calls in the pits throwing on those trash hard tires that were complete utter garbage today. Car looks like absolute trash. I mean trash. It might be down there with the Williams right now. I mean, it is trash. They went from the almost penthouse to you're not even allowed to go in the outhouse. You got to go in the woods and just dig a hole.
Digging a hole latrine style.
I mean, that was an awful performance. Absolutely awful performance. Awful performance from McLaren.
So get out that baby powder.
If you're a fan of McLaren, you probably were puking during most of that race. Just upchucking whatever special goodies you had to eat. Just puke them all right back up because that was disgusting and putrid. So get out that powder, throw some sand in there, and slap yourself. Not even once. Give me like a 5 times because that was that bad.
Yeah, I think if you as a public service, we should announce if you do know a McLaren fan, please check on them. Just give them a call, check in on them, make sure they're okay because it was a rough one today. It was a rough one. All right, with that, we are going to take a little break. Don't forget, in the Paddock USA at gmail.com and the Paddock USA on Twitter. Check us out. Hit us up. Let us know you are listening. And, of course, you got a question? Hit us up. Love to read it on the air. And Greenie and the Cheese and the Paddock F1. We're back after this.
Yes! We're back. Come on, Kenny. Bring it home. You know where we're taking it. That's right. In the Paddock F1, Greenie and the Cheese. We're heading back to the island of Greentopia. Tickets in hand. Are we cashing in? Or are we packing our bags and catching the first flight the hell out of town?
Well, hopefully not getting out of town after the first race. So hopefully we got a little more gumption than that. Hopefully we're a little hang on a little more than that. And get through the first 24 hours here. This is a long
But we are
season.
back. Cash in or check it out. Season 2. Season 2. Cash it in, check it out.
All right.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it, son.
So
Let's hear
it. It's early, but you
Well,
already have
it is
the
early
lead.
days. It is early days.
You went with the Ferrari, and I went with the Red Bull. I went with Max. You went with Charles Leclerc. And as we know, Charles Leclerc won. So you got the winner.
Yes, he did. Let's go. Let's go, Scuderia.
So you get 2-1 on your Charles Leclerc bet. So
That was a hundo.
Put you up to 51. Put you up to 5,100 there. But then you lost, as did I, on the trifecta.
Yep.
I had Max, Leclerc, Sainz. You had Leclerc, Max, and Carlos Sainz. Obviously, Max had to bow out from the race. Therefore, both those trifectas are out the window. And then finally, the biggest gainer of the day was Yuki Tsunoda, Nicholas Latifi, and Danny Ricciardo. Both were absolute junk today. And we're not the biggest gainers. Yuki Tsunoda got himself from 16th into the points, gaining 8 spots. Second biggest gainer was Lance Stroll, actually, with 7 gains on the day. And away we go, as that's a thing now. There will be an award at the end of the year. According to Sebastian Vettel, it's a bucket of jelly beans.
Bucket of jelly beans.
So we'll see who wins the Jelly Bean Award for the end of the year. And that is it. So the current standings, if you are ready, you are even at 5,000. You took a win and 2 losses, but you even yourself out because you bet double on the win, then half on both the trifecta and the biggest gainer. So that keeps you at 5,000, and I lost 200. So therefore, I'm at 4,800 greeny bucks, and away we go. All right.
Well, it's not a surprise, to be honest.
It's early. It's early.
It's early days, but
It's early.
I expect nothing less, to be honest.
It's early. I guess I'm gonna have to be a Ferrari fan if I'm gonna make it through this season.
Well, you should have been.
Feels a little surreal. Still feels a little surreal, sir. All right, are you ready to finish strong, as we always do?
Of course, let's do it.
All right. I got 3 minutes. I got 10 questions. First one of the year. Flex it out. Get ready. Because we start now. Tell me the one word that came to mind when both Red Bulls pulled out of the race.
Yes.
Where do you rank Valtteri's Bottas' performance this weekend for Valtteri's career?
I mean, it was all right. This traditional, awful start at the beginning of the race. And he had to fight back to get refinished. So, it was all right. Next.
Can McLaren compete for a single podium this year?
No! Not the way it looks right now. Heck no. Next.
Was George Russell qualifying 9th the most George Russell thing George Russell could do?
I don't even know what that means. Next. The heck was that? Get out of here. Next.
How underrated was Carlos Sainz' second place today?
I don't think it's that underrated. I mean, he struggled a bit during the weekend to finish second. That's pretty goddamn impressive in my book. He's still trying to get used to the new car, so it's absolutely impressive. I don't think it's... Get out of here. Next. Rubbish questions.
Over, under over under for Carlos Sainz wins on the year now stands at 3.5. How you feeling about that?
I mean, I like it. I think it can, it can happen. It'll definitely help the Scuderia win the constructors title, as I picked Saturday night this week. So let's do it. Win as many as you can. Red cars. Next.
You went over 9.5 podiums for Mercedes last night. Still confident in the 9.5 podiums? Got one.
Snuck one out today. So, yeah, I'll take it. That's one down, 8 to go, 22 races. I think it can happen. Let's go. Next.
How surprised by you for Yuki's 8th place today?
I'm not that surprised. I mean, good starts this season. I think he learned that he has to actually work to be in this sport. Otherwise, he ain't going to be here very long. So we'll see how he does the rest of the year. But, not that surprised. Next.
How impressed were you with Guan Yuzu's debut today?
Very impressed. Very impressed for the Chinaman's first race. Very impressed. Had the car underneath him, was making moves, was battling in there, even with right behind Valtteri for part of the race there. So, absolutely impressive. Great run for his first race. Next.
Is the Silver Arrow era officially over?
Yes. Ferrari's taking over. Next.
At the buzzer. At the buzzer. That is 10 questions.
Red cars. The red cars. Ferrari. King of the hill.
Ferrari
Let's
is
do
king
it.
of the hill. Ferrari is king of the hill. What a fabulous show. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone out there, for joining us this week. We will be back. Tell us when the next race is going to be and where we're going to be.
Next week, we return to the Jeddah Street Circuit in Saudi Arabia. Yes. Banks of the Red Sea. We're coming back. Hasn't been that long. We were there in December.
We were there a minute ago. Right back.
Right back.
Right back.
1 week.
Of course, as always, hit us up on Twitter in the Paddock USA, in the Paddock USA at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Greeny and the Cheese. We'll see you in 1 week.
1 week. Peace.
Of course, stay medicated, stay caffeinated. Peace.